Welcome to this week's SciMon. I'm Swati.
And I'm Jacques of the Scientific Affairs team here at Illumina.
This week we have two beautiful examples of how human history is written in our genomes.
The bacterium Mycobacterium Tuberculosis was first isolated by Robert Koch and is now, 100 years later, we know it has a GC-rich genome of 4.4 megabases that contains approximately 4,000 genes.
Yet with that tiny little genome, it is responsible for nearly 1.5 million deaths annually.
You know, its ability to survive within macrophages for months and even decades without any apparent symptoms is responsible for its worldwide expansion. Because people feel healthy, they travel and they spread the disease. That is the hallmark of a really effective pathogen right there.
Very true. And a review by Galligan describes the use of whole genome sequencing to give us a glimpse of exactly how remarkable this pathogen is.
You know, that's true. Mycobacteria are predominantly environmental organisms, and they probably transferred to humans as long ago as 2.5 million years ago.
I always thought humans got TB from cows during domestication.
You know, that was the intuition, but the genomic data indicate that humans were infected at a much earlier date, long before domestication. That actually implies that cows got TB from humans, which serves them right for giving us measles and influenza.
Generally, TB has followed the human migration routes, and it was introduced into the Americas after contact with Europeans, after Columbus, along with many other European diseases.
That assumption is supported by the observation that modern TB strains are closely related to those from Europe. But there is this little problem. There is evidence of TB in pre-Columbian human remains in Peru and Chile. Boss et al. Describes the sequencing of 3,000-year-old Mycobacterium genomes from Peruvian human skeletons. It's remarkable that they can do it, right?
That's pretty cool. And these predate the first recorded European contact, and that leaves a possibility that TB may have crossed to the Americas via the Bering Strait during the late Pleistocene about 10,000 years ago.
Their results suggest that a common TB ancestor less than 6,000 years ago much later than the 10,000 years earlier from the Pleistocene migration across the Bering Strait.
So, did they get any indication of where it came from?
You know, it turns out that the pre-Columbian TB genomes are very closely related to the modern strain of TB in sea mammals such as seals.
Seals.
Yeah, the seal TB is called Mycobacterium pinipedii, and pinipedii means fin foot.
You're not just making that up, are you?
The pinipedii bit?
No, the seals bit.
No, but it does make sense when you dig a bit deeper. The Peruvian skeletons are from coastal population that presumably hunted and consumed seal meat. And that's probably how the bacteria jumped over.
That's pretty interesting because there are recorded instances where seal TB has infected humans in zoo outbreaks. So it shows that the TB can jump from seals to humans.
Absolutely. And it would be interesting to see further research in this area. But human migration in the Americas is also still being debated. There are distinct differences in the craniofacial morphology and dentition between the earliest American skeletons, also called Beringians, and modern Native Americans. They look different, so they're thought to be of different origins.
That's interesting. Did you see the recent paper by Chatters et al.? They sequenced a 12,000-year-old skeleton from the submerged cave on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula.
You know, in this case, the skeleton had a combination of Paleo-American craniofacial characteristics and a Beringial-derived mitochondrial DNA.
So there seems to be some mixing there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you put it all together, they must have had a common origin. And the differences between the Paleo-Americans and Native Americans probably resulted from early adaptations.
From seals with TB to human migrations, you just never know what the genome will tell you next.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Subscribe now and get the latest episode of SciMon.
We'd love to hear from you. Take care and have a great day.
Bye.